common. In fact, I have felt like this. I have failed quite a lot of times. In fact, if you follow my story, you see a lot of, in quote, failures. But failure doesn't mean you are a failure. Failure is the step, it's a process to success. So you are going to fail at a lot of things, and as you fail, you are learning, you are growing. So because you are gaining experience, you are becoming more wise in terms of handling situations, in terms of handling your business. So let's take for example now, started a food business, and after starting you realize you're not so good at cooking egusi soup. Egusi soup is Nigerian soup, but you are very good at cooking banga soup. Even if at first your business was centered on, I am producing a special egusi soup recipe, but you realize that people tend to ask for the banga more. What have you learned about the business? You have learned that your audience, your customers, are leaning towards something else. So you learned that, like you've learned something from that experience. Why you initially went into the business to say you are going to be the egusi soup expert, your customers, your consumers are telling you that they have high demand, or they have, it's not like you're not even good at cooking egusi soup. It's just that your customers prefers banga soup. So you have learned. So are we going to say you're a failure? No, you're not. You've learned by doing what you are ought to be doing. Sorry, you've learned by doing, and you know that, okay, for my customers, you cannot say you're a failed egusi soup expert. No, because you found out something else. So that is how life is. When you start giving out value, when you start giving out something that people are willing to pay for, when you start selling items, when you start selling ideas, when you start selling services for people to buy, and one service that you thought was going to be like the banger, it doesn't become the banger like you expected, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you have learned something better. I don't know if you get. Okay, let me even use another example. Let's say you started a drink business, and in that area you thought you were going to be selling more of a particular brand, but all of a sudden you realize that the market demand for that brand is not as much as the market demand for water, and you tilt towards water, or rather they even start demanding for something totally different from water. They start demanding for cash, like POS services. It doesn't mean that your business failed. It just means that you found a different market that you could offer something more valuable to, and that they are willing to buy. I don't know if you get. So don't be afraid of, oh, I have failed before, or I have had one failed business.